All right. First and foremost, I'm gonna say all praises be to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Makar Kodash. And then I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And then shalom to the sincere elect, teaching the truth and faith and sincerity. Quick topic I want to speak on is based here on the death of this Eve. You know, I'm sure many brothers have already come across this news. And I saw it a couple of days ago, but I was just waiting for more information to come out and filter out. And basically, this Eve, you know, she was in Tanzania with her so-called husband, which what everyone is saying in the streets that this girl was really, you know what I mean, a hired, you know what I mean, harlot, and you know the guy that she was with did what she did. But you know what's interesting is that if you go on a social media page and from information that people have come out about her, you know, like it was a common thing to, you know, throw shade at the so-called black man, you know, at the expense of the so-called white man, right? Of course, man, which is Esau. And you know, if you look at the dude that she was with, man, you can tell by his countenance that he planned it from day one to, to take her out. You know, you can see that, you know, his soul ain't right. But again, you know, this just highlights, you know, like especially that something like this has made the news so big. Now, of course, these things happen all the time, but she, at the time of her death, had a platform and was an inspiration to many Eves. But the funny thing is, Eve is in mourning, man. you know, like if you go online, man, all you see is comment after comment of Eve upset at the so-called black man for mocking this, which is simply the judgment. You know, she on a social media page tried to act like, you know, she's a business woman and making money, and you know she just married to a white hunk, but she was really, you know what I mean, a harlot, you know, hired out to you know what I mean, an Edomite dude, trying to portray that she's a kind of an influencer, and now at the time of her death, her her family have basically done a GoFundMe page. But then when she was alive, she was trying to act like she was married to a millionaire, and she just got out of the hood and blah blah blah. But guess what? On holiday, this bitch was found in a room hung. You see? And this just summarizes, you know, especially Eve, man. You know, they've had things very easy. You know, they've had a very long time of mocking the so-called black man. But guess what? As things get worse, as you know, more hell comes upon the earth, more and more these things will keep happening, man. As the scripture says, never trust that dying, you know what I mean, enemy, man. So let's if I find a bit of more information, you know. But before I do that, let me read the scripture. This is Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You know, it's funny, and it's like The title of this is, Eve, you know, got bit by the serpent again. you know, because it's like, that's basically the exact same thing. You see, and it's like when we try and explain these things about the so-called white man, whose seed, of course, goes back to this seed of Esau, because not every person that is white is of the house of Esau, but for a large amount, of course, a lot of them are, for the most part. But we obviously know that the seed of the 12 tribes of Israel have been scattered amongst, all nations, and there are Israelites that look white. But my focus is on, the so-called white man whose seed goes back to Esau. And if you look at the guy, man, this guy was an Edomite, but you can see in his eyes that guy ain't right. But the point is, I never trust thine enemy, man. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust will not altogether wiped away. And these things have happened so many times in history. Like, remember, there was that one Edomite that had HIV, and this dude was just running through Eve. You actually see him at hip-hop parties and, wearing a hat and shit. And then Eve was just all, falling over him. Well, that dude gave all of them HIV. And I remember the information was that he was doing that like at the expense and hope of giving black men HIV, man. Which is why, man, you have to be careful out here. So when you do what you do, pray, because it's nasty out here, man. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in that place. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna quickly show her kind of countenance on their page. You see, this was her page, her and a white hunk, date night. And guess what? She now, man, in the upper room, man, found hung. Her and Zaddy. Zaddy. Well, guess what? He took her out, man. Now she in the back knows that this ain't gonna last long. And here it says hard wood floors and soft life. You see, hard wood floors and soft life. And yeah, man, America, fuck yeah. And he shows them horns, man. That hair laid, girl. Hair laid. Well, guess what? Now she gonna be laid to rest. Yeah. Like, is this someone you should trust, man? Come on, man. This guy, this guy loves blood. And it's different if it was like a Spanish brother, or one of them Italians that could, most probably be Jake's. This dude's an Edomite, man. This guy, he's just thinking about blood. You see how like at the bottom it says, well kept. Just them indirect shots at black men. You see, sunshine in the rain when it's pouring. So the point is, she was just come out that she was bought and paid for, but on social media, she tried to act to pretend as if, she just, a businesswoman made it out the hood. And guess what? Now she's biting the dust. Anyway, though it says, though he humbled himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his wrath shall not be altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in that place. Yeah. Trusted him and felt safe, and now he's totally overthrown thee. Neither let him set at thy right hand, lest he seek to take that seat, and thou shalt remember my words and be pricked therewith. And guess what, man? On social media, I saw there was comments of people saying, "Girl, careful because he gonna take you out." And she was all mocking, and now that person was proven right. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh a wild beast? You know what I mean? Because hey man, us, what I mean, as an Israelite man, man, what I mean, if you want to deal with a woman from another nation, it's fine. Of course, you have to move in wisdom and but here, she, what I mean, spending time with E and mocking the black man, so-called black man. The Lord made an example of her, and as things get worse and society breaks down, people gonna turn onto their own people, man. You know what I mean? Like have you seen that rapper Eve? You know what I mean? And her husband, she looks like she's crying for help. So that one that goes to a sin and is involved thereof with sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. And in this circumstance, the day seemed all perfect in pictures and shit. And then when she was found in a room hung, he wasn't there. An enemy. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, right? But in his heart, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And that's what happened. Soft life, babe, and all this, blase blah, my black queen, and you know what happened? The whole time, he was thinking of how, because that's the spirit, of Esau. That's his soul, which is lifted up, is not right in him. They love blood. And guess what? He had the money and wealth and opportunity in a foreign land to do what he wanted to do. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. It's an open and shut case, but guess what? With money and the ability to bribe, those local officials over there in Tanzania are probably going to say, "No, man, she just is rude suicide," knowing damn well that Edomite did it. And though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. He will shake with his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. So let's see what else is available. Now, this is a whack 100, as you know him. This dude is always got something to say, about finding information out on us. So let's play a bit of his video.
So I'm gonna show you something. This whoever this lady you taking up for type of shit she used to do. Here you go. I'm gonna let you read it. I'm gonna let you make sense of this. All right, this is light work. This is your girl. That's why I don't give a fuck. Nigga, she had that coming. Nigga, stay with them people.
Black, you a
no, I'm gonna let y'all read it. I'm gonna let y'all read it. Don't all that. Matter of fact, now listen. Now, there you go. We got this. She puts up, there's nothing like a man who lets you rest in your feminine energy. Every day, black men wake up and find new ways to embarrass us. Bitch, you. Yep. Straight, I got more too. I got more. My team just sent me a whole thread of shit. Don't tell me what your she did and didn't used to do.
So she's a Ku Klux Keisha.
Straight her. So she went over there with them, right? And the hell come the Pale Rider, and they sacrificed her ass. Don't expect us to feel sorry for you when you over here talking down on us. Now you black women, y'all may be with it. Maybe you disgruntled about your baby daddy or whatever. But as a black man, I don't feel nothing for that.
Well, you know what's crazy? Like, black men wasn't...
No, where y'all at? Where y'all at? I got more. I'd rather not go in deeper, because if I go in deeper, it's going to look worse. Right? So you justifying that too, right? That means something else, right?
But black man wasn't...
Call that. No, where y'all...
Yeah, and the point he's making is absolutely right. You know? It was all... You know, Eve was in such support when it comes to mocking the black man, but are upset that now that this bitch died, you know, black men don't feel sorry for her. So-called black man, of course, Judah, especially. Let's play more.
Hey, where y'all at saying what she didn't do? Where y'all at? I got more. I can really run her shit through the mud. I come from that 100 side where all we got is information. I'm not going to speak unless we got it. One text, I got 15 things. Here you go. What? You want some more? That's light work. So you telling me we shouldn't see that in a negative light? That's what you telling me? Sisters, you telling me she talking about your daddy, your son, your brother. She didn't say gangbangers or dummies or robbers. Let me read this shit for you again. Says y'all can't. Let me slow it down.
Well,
she got a picture with the white dude. There's nothing like a man let you rest in your feminine energy with the white boy. Then she says, everyday black men wake up and find new ways to embarrass us. Out of here.
Realistically,
you justifying that.
You're saying, because especially as a man,
out of here,
you should people that should acknowledge that.
Turn that bitch upside down and set her
to acknowledge that.
What? Yeah, bro. Yeah, straight like that, you.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Due to a person's popularity, y'all just say anything, huh?
Crazy.
Like, y'all just gonna let him make fun of the dead, huh? Cause y'all gonna let him make fun of the dead. Nah.
Well, shut up, man. Bitch ass nigga. Fuck this bitch. Good for her.
No, that's what y'all gonna do because of his name, because of his clout. Y'all gonna make fun of the dead. Y'all ain't about shit.
Yes.
Y'all ain't about shit.
Somebody gotta shut up so people can actually talk.
Niggas, man.
What?
Y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit.
Y'all in here talking like she innocent and she never did these things.
Hold on. Can I say something?
Never keep the same energy with anybody. No principle.
Shut up, man, you faggot. Now, here's a video of her parents.
So local authorities in Zanzibar initially said that Ashley took her own life, but you guys released a statement saying that her death was suspicious. What do you think happened?
We're not.
That's so on the right is her mother with a white man. This nigga probably knows the guy. You know what I mean? This dude's over there trying to look all sad and shit. when he's just waiting to do this to her mother, man. And it was probably her. It was most likely her mother that gave her the inspiration to find herself a white man. And now she's biting the dust. All right. This is Psalms 55 and the 20th verse. 21, it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. And you see many examples of that in life and in history. You know what I mean? Even if you watch the film Killers of the Flowers of the Moon, it was on the Native American people, the Osage Nation, and in that movie, a big concept in that film was white men intermarrying with a tribe of Native American kind of women, and just through systematic planning and murder, you know, they basically was able to marry into the tribe. But there was a lot of women just being straight up poisoned and killed by their own husbands. You see? That's the spirit of Esau. You see? See, men naturally go forth and conquer, you know? Conquer the nation. So it's like, a lot of the times, 9 times out of 10, man, a man is gonna, you know, make a woman merge onto his spirit. You know what I mean? So she thought, you know, this is someone I could go and merge with and be with and blah, blah, blah. And now the bitch dead.
Sure what happened. That's what we're trying to find out. I got 2 emails today from the embassy in Zanzibar. And it said the investigation is still ongoing. That they have not determined the cause of death yet at all. And the investigation is still ongoing and still pending right now. So there has nothing official has been released. You know, that's what we're trying to find out. We just want answers.
What was it that the hotel initially told you guys?
That the person, that Joe McCain, who she was traveling with, had that he had found her and that they had taken her to the hospital.
We just think it's very odd that our daughter is traveling with Joe and we don't hear anything from Joe. To me, that's very odd. And initial call that
he killed her ass, and this dude in the red shirt. Oh shit, red shirt. He knows what time it is.
She got from Joe was 11 hours after something had transpired in the room. Later,
11 hours.
Something had transpired, and Joe just relayed to Yolanda that Ashley was okay and she was stable and she was okay and don't worry about it.
But that she was at the hospital.
Yes. 11 hours later.
So have you spoken to him since, and what has he been saying?
There has been no communication here.
Was there any footage? Did you look at the footage? Did you see the footage? These are things that's very important to us. These are things that can clear everything up. It gives us a timeline. It lets us know what happened. We have not seen or heard or even anything about any kind of footage, surveillance. No. These are things that we need to know.
Did you guys ever think that Ashley had any mental health issues?
I don't think that's farther from the truth. If you go to her page, you know, like she's a beacon of light. You know, she likes being in line, like it's like being in the camera. She was an influencer. You know, she loved her family.
She loved her family.
Yeah, and here it says, wait, I thought she had a social media business. I was an entrepreneur. And it says, I swear, modern women have a great way of masking the fact that they're selling pussy. You mean to tell me she was flying private, taking helicopter rides and driving Lambos, but doesn't have any money saved up for an emergency? This is what you call trapping pussy backwards. You see? And she lived that her lifestyle. Cashing flights, not feelings. Never been regular. Date night in a Lamborghini. This is 30. The last year has been an abundance of learning, changing, embracing, self-reflection. Thank you to all who have been along the journeys and survived my 20s with me. And guess what? She didn't survive being lynched though. Person here says the white fiance cleansed his page of her existence. He hasn't made any statement regarding the lovers of his life death, and y'all on here yelling at black people who are calling this shit out. How come y'all not on this page? You know, which is true. And all in all, there are people online still trying to blame the black man. Now here, it says, what does love feel like to you? You know, this is a post. And the person responds onto her, says, please don't chop her up. Put her in a wall, sir, our suitcase. And then someone says, oh, well, she responds, I don't get chopped, just screwed. Well, guess what? She's now definitely been screwed.
Just keep watching.
Yeah, you know, so that's the point, you know. Let that be an example, you know. This is Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So the point is, you know, his soul ain't right. You know, they are the seed of wickedness. And it's like these women, man, put you know, Eve put the trust in the serpent. Well, the serpent gonna show you exactly who he is. Jeremiah 13:23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spots? Then may you also do good that are accustomed to do evil. So whether the devil's in a private jet, you know, the devil's in a private jet, a Lamborghini, a Mustang, whatever it is, still a devil, man. You know, and them horns showed, and guess what? Now she biting the dust. You know. And it's like, at the end of the day, man, especially Eve, man, as more food shortages take place, and as there's, you know, things out here become more of a wild west lifestyle, a lot of you gonna try and run back to the Negro, Latino, or Native American man, all right, for shelter and safety. But guess what? You're gonna get that cold shoulder, man. And dudes like that gonna be running around and doing what they're gonna do. All right. Isaiah 32:9 to 11. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. And she was a careless daughter, man. You know, mocking the black man. All right. The Israelite man, you know, the so-called black man, you know, and puffed up and proud. Guess what? The Lord made an example of her. Many days and years she shall be troubled, you careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, you women that are at ease. Be troubled, you careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. and gird sackcloth upon your loins. You know, because guess what, man? The all of the comforts you've been afforded by your daddy Esau, he gonna turn his back on your ass, right? You know, and as you know, more food shortages and the life as you know it, and comforts get taken away from you, it's gonna get dark, man. And the only women that gonna get mercy are those that are with the men of the Lord and coming under their spirit. But for you proud hosts, there is no hope for you. So with that, I'm gonna say all praises be to Yahweh Shema Shah Shema Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles. That was a great move. So until next time, we're gonna say Shalom.